Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Haugen. Today we're going to work on our Lesson 12 problem set. So please make sure you have your blue math packet open to Lesson 12. Today is going to take a little bit of patience and a little bit of practice in order for you to get really good. So do not get yourself frustrated all at once. Remember our calm down steps. This takes a little bit of practice. So let's look at the target for today. The target says draw rectangles using smaller squares. Now we've done that. The other day you were working with your little squares that you were moving around on your iPad. Today's a little different. Today you notice in the directions for number 1, it says draw without using a square tile. Make an array with 2 rows of 5. So they don't want us to use those little squares anymore. They want us to practice drawing them. So when this tells me I need 2 rows of 5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a top row, although now I'm going to draw them as a box, and then I'm going to draw my bottom row. Now, if you'd like, you can draw one large rectangle and just split a line down the middle. I can show you how to do that. So your other option is to draw one large, whoa, that was crazy. Let's try that one again. Draw one, oh my gosh, why can't I draw that straight, kiddos? You know, that'll make me crazy. One large, there we go. Maybe if I go a little slower. Rectangle. And then to get 2 rows, you only need to draw one line down the middle. So now we have a top row and a bottom row. So when we want 2 rows, we draw one line down the middle. Now we want 2 rows of 5. And the rule is you always draw one less than you actually want. So we draw one line less. So if we want 5 on the row, we draw 4 lines to get there. And it's really important as you're drawing your 4 lines to try really hard to keep your rows and columns as equal as you can, and to double check. So if you were watching my lesson 11 application problem video, I totally counted those brownies wrong. So it's really important when you're going through to double check. I have 2 rows, that's good, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each row. If you find you have too many, erase one, erase a row, erase a column, whatever you need to make it 2 rows of 5. So we drew this rectangle, which I think we did a pretty good job of. Now we'll answer the questions at the bottom. 2 rows of 5 equals, well, what's our total? 10, good. And then, because we drew rows, the row number is what I'm using for my repeated addition. So there's 5 on the top, plus 5 on the bottom, well, that's not what I drew, equals 10. Now for those of you that like the multiplication, if we do 2 rows of 5, that's the same as 2 times 5 equals 10. Again, because we organize it by rows, that's how we're going to do our repeated addition. And we use 2 rows of 5 to help us figure out the multiplication, okay? Number 2, draw without using a square tile. Make an array with 4 columns of 3. So I'm going to draw over here. Because I'm drawing columns, I'm going to draw them a little taller. So I'll draw a big box. Now because I need 4, the rule is I draw 3 lines. I draw one less line. To do that, the odd numbers are nice. So you do 1 down the middle, and then on each side of that, you do another one down the middle. So I'm going to do another one on the left and another one on the right. So I drew 3 lines. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Now it says 4 columns of 3, which means I need to have 3 in each of those columns. So in order to get 3, I draw one less line. I only need to draw 2 lines. So I'm going to space them out as nicely as I can. So I need to double check. I have 4 columns, and I have 1, 2, 3 in each column. 1, 2, 3 in each column. 1, 2, 3 in each column. Okay? So because I organize these by columns, I'm going to use that down here. 4 columns of 3 equals, well, when I count them all out, I get 12. My total is 12. Now again, because I organize them in columns, what I'm looking at is this right here. So my repeated number is 3. So in each box, or on each line, sorry, I will write 3. And I have 4 columns, so I have 4 3s. And my total is 12. And for those of you that like to add the multiplication on here, this is what I use. 4 columns of 3 means 4 times 3 equals 12. So today we were continuing with our drawing the big rectangles with smaller squares. The only difference is we were dividing the big rectangle ourselves instead of dragging the actual square tiles. So 2 things in your work today. Draw the array, draw the big square, and then fill out the problems at the bottom. Of course, multiplication is always optional in 2nd grade. Boys and girls, again, to get these looking nice, you really have to take your time. Please don't get frustrated right away. This takes practice. So take your time and do a really great job. I know you'll do amazing.